go ahead and get started.
All right, welcome everyone. Glad that you're here today. My name is Craig Sipes, and I am the STEAM coordinator for Local District East. And I would love to introduce to you my counterparts here, Lillian Nava, who's going to take over leading us through this in just a second, and In Young Lee. They're both STEAM coaches for Local District East, specifically for Huntington Park and Southgate schools. So we want to welcome you. Glad that you're here today. And Lillian, whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, just to make sure you sign in, there is an attendance link in the chat, and also make sure that you download the materials from the materials folder, or take a look at that. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and In Young is going to introduce us to today's session.
Is that me that presses next on the slide? Okay.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, everybody. So before we jump into ADI, we want to think about the purpose. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. If you could just think to yourself how you would answer, what is knowledge? Where does knowledge come from? Could you make knowledge? And if so, how? Well, these same three questions were asked to three different groups of students. On the chart, you can see responses from students in working class schools, middle class schools, and affluent professional schools. These come from a book titled, Is Everyone Really Equal? You'll see the reference at the bottom. If you could take a moment to think about how students from various backgrounds responded. We're going to ask you to join others in breakout rooms, and you'll have 4 minutes to think about patterns that you notice and what you wonder as you look through the different responses from students. If you would like to see these responses while you're in breakout rooms, again, they're in the materials link that has been posted in the chat, and it is slide number 5. Are there any questions before you go into your breakout rooms to discuss what you notice and what you wonder? So if there are no questions, Craig will be facilitating the breakout rooms. And again, you're discussing what you notice and what you wonder for 4 minutes in your breakout rooms. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in 4 minutes. Please accept the room number that's popping up for you. And by the way, you're going to be with this group of folks that you're grouped with. Now you'll be with them for another breakout session later. So make friends. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, Maria, welcome. We just entered a breakout room. How are you?
Sorry, I was on a virtual field trip with my students, so sorry I'm late.
No, fantastic. We're going to give you, we're in a breakout room right now. Okay. And let's see, do we have enough time to get her ready to go into the breakout room?
Yeah, she can go. We still have about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I could just join and see what's up and then come back.
To see what's on the screen, maybe take a few seconds to see what we're sharing, and that's what they're discussing, what they noticed.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And let's see, Christine in room 2 asked for help. Can I send?
Oh, you can send me. I was assigned to room 2.
Okay. Can you? Okay. Go ahead. I think
I'll go to my breakout.
You can go to your breakout room.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So Maria, I'm going to send you.
Okay.
Breakout room. Okay. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Sounds good.
All right. Sergio, how are you?
Hey, Craig, pretty good. And yourself?
Good to see you. Here's the attendance link and
I
the
just put it in,
materials
Craig.
link. Oh, yeah. And right now, everyone's in a breakout room and they're discussing what pattern or what do they notice and what do they wonder about this screen that's up here. And let's see, how much more time do we have? Let's send you to a breakout room. I think we have another minute. Can I send you to a breakout room?
Yes, no problem.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. You're going to be in that room
Okay.
right now and later on today as well. All right, see you in a few minutes.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Cece's here.
Yeah, Cece's here.
Yeah.
I recognize her dog. I think we're recording ourselves right now, talking about this. Maybe. Yeah,
Oops.
because recording stays with me. So, because I pressed record. Let's see. I didn't catch when we started with this. How much more time do we give them?
Oh, Lillian usually runs the timer.
Yeah,
I didn't run it.
that's fine. Let's give them. It's got to be about a minute now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna send the. If you press close all rooms, then that gives them 60 seconds. So I sent that.
Okay.
Hi, I think I got kicked out of a breakout room.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay. They're closing down in 10 seconds. So you're
Got it. Okay.
you're fine
thank
to
you.
be back here. Yes. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Everyone's coming back in. Great.
There you go.
All right. Good to see everyone. Welcome back.
Thanks for joining back, everybody.
Back. Okay,
So we're hoping
so
you
let me share
had.
screen with you again. Okay, share screen. Okay.
Okay, let's try it again. So I'm hoping everyone had a productive discussion with their small group. I would like for you to think about what you shared in response to the questions. What do you notice? What do you wonder? If you could please drop into the chat any of the patterns that you and your group discussed. You can also feel free to unmute yourself and share aloud.
Our group was noticing that in the working class schools, there was a lot more lower level, like knowledge acquisition. Teachers know stuff. The knowledge comes from teachers, worksheets. And then as you move up towards affluent professionals, it gets more creative and higher level.
Thank you, Christine. In the chat, I also see Ms. Gill mentioned resources, that there seems to be a lack of resources in working class schools, that affluent professionals have more, or students from affluent professional schools have more elaborate answers for this question. There seems to be more depth to the answers on the right. These are very insightful sharings. Thank you so much, everybody. So I think that we all seem to notice similar patterns here, that as you look at the responses from left to right, there is a shift in students' agency where they see themselves as more empowered to not only gain knowledge, but create their own knowledge. So we as teachers, we're going to explore in this PD, ADI as a way of doing this. How might we empower students to construct their own knowledge?
Great. Thank you, In Young. So again, thanks for joining us in our ADI and remote learning series. This is session 1 or hour 1. And today we're going to have a brief overview on ADI. And we're also going to be going over the criteria for rich argumentation tasks. For session 2, we'll be diving into those stages. So if you're not familiar with ADI or have not been trained, we will go into a deeper dive, and we're breaking it up into two sections. So stage 1 through 4 will be in the next session. Third session will be 5 through 8. And then finally, we'll be looking at student work, analyzing, reflecting, and revising. So the outcomes that that participants will achieve at the completion of this series, you'll be able to facilitate an ADI in remote learning, and you'll be empowering your students to construct scientific knowledge, to deepen that knowledge, that shift going into even those deeper depths of knowledge through engaging disciplinary discourse and also collaboration and other sense-making activities. But for today, you'll be analyzing and evaluating lab simulations using the criteria for rich argumentation tests that we'll be sharing with you. Today, we're going to be going, this is our agenda, and we're going to be going over the why, the what, and the how of ADI in remote learning. So we're going to talk about NGSS and the CAST. We'll be reviewing the 8 stages just briefly, and then looking at criteria for rich argumentation. You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. So we're going to look at, let's jump into the why. So when we look at the CAST blueprint, what we see, especially for elementary and middle school, well, okay, so what's true across the board for every grade level is that for the CAST, by the way, your students are going to take CAST in the spring. 8th graders are going to take the CAST, and 11th graders and 12th graders are going to take the CAST. Because we didn't do CAST, the California Science Test last year, that means that all 12th graders as well as 11th graders are going to take the CAST this year. So when we look at the CAST, we look at the breakout of the CAST, the questions are kind of roughly even across the disciplines. So physical science, life science, earth science are kind of roughly even across those. What's different though, especially in segment 1, is it's different by the science and engineering practices. There's higher frequency, there's a higher number of questions for developing and using models and constructing explanations and designing solutions and engaging in argumentation for evidence. Now this isn't exactly true for high school. This is more true for middle and elementary, but these are still really, really critical areas for high school as well. Aside from that, aside from worrying about the CAST, because the CAST is not the reason why we do things, aside from that, the whole enterprise of science is about constructing knowledge, about making sense of this world. And as we engage students in this enterprise, we want to empower them to be able to construct explanations, to make sense of their world. And in so doing, that would be then the end goal. At the end of our units, phenomena-based units, is that students construct explanations to phenomena. How do we get there? We get there by students engaging in argumentation from evidence. And students are engaged in all of the other practices leading up to argumentation and including argumentation in order to construct explanations, all along the way, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. So if we think of the science and the engineering practices in this way, we can see that argumentation is a crucial element. So how do we structure what we're doing in order to facilitate students to better achieve a really nice explanation of things? Another reason why we're talking about argumentation is because everything kind of revolves around argumentation. Everything converges on argumentation. When we're thinking about the math practices, when we're thinking about ELA and science, where all of those overlap, they all overlap on argumentation.
We're going to briefly go over the 8 stages of argument-driven inquiry. So in ADI, we want to keep in mind that what are students doing? And there is a process. ADI is a process of 8 stages, and it may turn into a cycle for some, depending on where they are, and after they reach stage 4, when they have their argumentation session, they may actually have to go back if needed to gather additional data. So we are going to give you a link, or it's in the link is also in the slide. It's a poster for the 8 stages. Thank you, In-Young. In-Young has included it in the chat. It has a little more of a description for each of the stages. But remember, today we're not going to go deep into the 8 stages of ADI, but we want you to think about what are students doing? And in looking at this, would you be able to categorize, say, for example, maybe into 4 buckets? What are the students doing, and how are they gaining knowledge and deeper understanding? So I'll give you a few seconds to take a look at this flow chart. Now, maybe by show of hands, how many of you, maybe with the reaction, have had any kind of training or are familiar with ADI? Okay, we're seeing a few thumbs up. Okay, next slide. So the 4 big ideas, it's about students figuring things out. And I mentioned earlier about 4 buckets. So students are going to propose an investigation. They're going to have an opportunity to plan and propose an investigation with their groups. They are going to make a claim, and they're going to go through their investigation and gather evidence and come up with reasoning. They're also going to have an opportunity to critique each other's work, and then, of course, revise their CER, their claim, evidence, and reasoning. So these are the 4 big ideas, and what we want you to keep in mind with this ADI process: students figuring things out.
So this all hinges on students, in order for there to be some sort of a opportunity for students to argue and to argue from evidence. There needs to be a task that's rich for that argumentation. So how do we know if something is a rich argumentation task? Here are 4 design criteria that are outlined by argumentationtoolkit.org. These are the same folks who put together Amplify Science, and they have 4 design criteria set up to determine if something is deemed rich for argumentation. So 1, is there a clear guiding question for students? Number two, is there an opportunity for multiple potential claims? If something doesn't have the opportunity for multiple claims, it's not rich. Do those claims necessitate the use of evidence? If there's not a way of generating data or generating evidence or using evidence, then it's not rich. And does it encourage student-driven argumentation? So those are the four criteria. There's some more consideration here that I'm going to leave for you to look at a different time, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of put this to use. We're going to do one of these. We're going to look at one of these together, and then we're going to break out and look at the other one separately. So something that's an opportunity to do with students are to assign students to play with different simulations. So if you haven't used PhET before, PhET is a really awesome resource. PhET stands for Physics Education Technology. And we're going to look at a couple of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to decide, do these provide a rich opportunity for argumentation? So if you could open up, let's do this together. Let's open up this PhET balloon static electricity simulation. And we're going to do this one together. You're going to break out and do the other one yourself in your small groups. I'm going to open this up by pressing the play button. And then we're going to look at this simulation. And we're just going to try to figure it out. Okay, so what do we do here? So for this one, there's a balloon. Oh, if I move my hand over it, if I move the mouse over it, I see the hand appears. All right, so I'm just moving my hand through, moving my mouse through the environment, and I'm seeing I can click on things. Okay. So, oh, I can click on the balloon and move the balloon around. All right. If I move the balloon over here, oh, I see that it's doing something. And I let go of the balloon. If I let go of the balloon, it seems to do something. What? Now I see something on the other side. What if I move over here? Okay. Okay, so this is the basics of this sim. I could introduce a second balloon and do something similar. Now, so just looking at this, then let's go back and let's talk about the criteria here. Let's talk to each other. In a minute, we're gonna let you go out into your groups and play with simulation number 2 to figure out what's going on with number 2. But let's do number 1 together. So balloons and static electricity. Okay. You can either unmute yourself or you can write in chat. But the question to you is, let's go through the criteria. Did this include a clear guiding question, this sim?
So we're seeing no as responses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Carpenter. Yeah. Myra, yeah, we're seeing it. General,
Okay.
no.
So we're saying none was evident. Okay. So, and that's going to be the case with just opening these sims in general. And sometimes there are lesson plans that go along with them and sometimes not. And this one, you could find the lesson plan by going back here, and there are some lesson plans to use in the for teachers section. However, as was presented, there was not one evident. So we would want there to be one evident, right? So did this meet this criteria just as presented? No, because there needs to be a guiding question. Okay. Number 2, do you think, what's evidence for, did it include multiple potential claims? Could students make multiple potential claims? And Courtney is saying, I usually give students instructions and ideas before they do a FET. Yes. So Lisa was shaking her head yes. Lisa says yes.
Ms. Carpenter said multiple claims based on what happened with different balloons.
Okay. What's the evidence?
And Sergio agreed also.
What did you see?
Like one balloon had activity when you moved it over the sweater. The other one did not have a lot of activity.
What would be examples, possible examples of claims students could make? Anna says, I wonder if there could be claims without a question. Okay, good. So that's why they need the question, right? So the question hinges, or the claims would hinge on the question. All right. But let's say, but just looking at the sim itself, could there be multiple potential claims a student could make? And Courtney was saying yes. What are some potential claims? Anyone can jump in. Kenneth says balloon is attractive to the shirt. That's one claim. Okay, good. What else? Negative attracts positive. Okay, that's another claim. All right, is there a competing claim that students could make? Or an alternative claim to that?
The student could say the balloon was neutral at the beginning, but it touches the positive charge, will lose or will change the distribution of charges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So there seems to be then negative repels negative, opposites attract, like repels. Okay. So there are some possible claims. Okay. All right. So we can say yes to this. All right. Does it necessitate? Once again, this would require a clear guiding question. But does this necessitate the use of evidence? Would you say? Is there, and let's think of this sim. Does this sim help? Could this sim help provide evidence to students in making a claim? Lisa's saying yes. Lisa, can you tell us more of what you're thinking? I'm thinking on you, Lisa.
You are. You could count how many positives or how many negatives they attract, right?
Okay.
You could count how many positives are repel, how many other positives, or negatives to negatives.
Okay. So you could count the number of charges.
So then you have data too.
Then you have data, which counts as data that can be used as evidence. Okay. So then you're saying yes to this. Okay. And does this encourage student-driven argumentation? Oh, and Sergio said visual evidence, by the way. Thank you, Sergio. Mm-hmm. Does this encourage student-driven argumentation? Okay. I see some people shaking their head. Who can share with us? So Rita says you can see the reaction movement of charges. Okay, thank you. Courtney, claim 1, balloons attached to negative charge. Claim 2, they don't. Thank you. Do you think that your students would be driven to have argumentation, to engage in evidence-based argumentation around this? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So I'm going to step out and say, by your reaction, it's not highly enthusiastic with this particular step. And that's because this particular sim is a little bit simple, isn't it? There's not a lot of bells, not a lot of whistles, not a lot of opportunities for students to try multiple different things. So one thing that we want to look for in bringing simulation in for students to engage in argumentation is we want to look for multiple levers or buttons or things that they can push so that when they do some things, they get some outcomes, and when they do other things, they get different outcomes. In this simulation might not be the strongest one to use. I mean, I've used it before, and actually I've gotten good use out of it, but it was always with something else. It was in addition to something. So if I were to do an ADI that's based, if I were to do an argument-driven inquiry whole thing, all the 8 stages, I wouldn't invest my time in doing 8 stages of argument-driven inquiry because it's a really long, it's an involved process. I wouldn't involve my students in doing something simple like this. I would want to do something that provided a richer argumentation opportunity. So then let's look at then this other one. So we're going to have you break out into groups. We're going to have you give you a couple minutes to look at this simulation. It's the PhET natural selection simulation, and we'll ask you to go to, where is it here? The link is here.
I'll go ahead and put it in I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. So Lillian's going to put it in the chat, put this link in the chat, and this is going to open up a separate Google slide. We're going to have you, when you go into your breakout room, notice which room you're going in. That's going to determine which slide you're going to go on. Oh, that's the criteria. I was clicking the wrong one. Where's the breakout slides? Is this it? Okay, this is it. All right. So if you're in breakout room number 1, then you would go to the slide that has breakout room number 1 on it, which happens to be breakout room or slide number 2. So you would fill in, just like we did together for the first one, you would fill in the natural selection ones. If you're breakout group number 2, then you're going to go to slide number 3, and so on. Okay, so we're gonna put you into breakout rooms, and what you're doing is you're looking over the criteria, the design criteria for rich argumentation tasks, and you're going to look at the natural selection. You're going to look at the natural selection PhET simulation and see, does this meet the criteria? And then we'll come back. Okay, so
And they will have how much time, Craig?
they're going to have 10 minutes to do that. And did we put the PhET? Let's put the link for the PhET here too.
The link is also on the very first page of the slideshow.
Oh yeah, the link is on the slideshow. Thank you so much.
The
Okay,
very first page, yeah.
And here's the link in the chat as well. Okay. All right, any questions before we break out? Okay, very good. You can stay back and ask questions if you like. Otherwise, we're pressing the button. See you in a few minutes.
I'm gonna set my timer now.
10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'll take a look at where everyone is.
I can't join.
Lisa, did you get your room breakout? Okay, she did.
I'm not able to breakout room.
Oh, you're not? Okay. So, all right.
Rita.
So Vivian, I'm going to move you to a different room. Ready? You're going to room number 4, okay? Were you in room number 3 before? Okay. I'm going to move you to room number 4. All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, did it pop up?
My cursor is not working.
Oh, your cursor's
Everything,
not working.
it's like everything's frozen. The only thing that's working is my space bar.
That's not good.
Same with me. I'm not on a breakout room.
Okay.
Neither am I. I'm sorry, Joy.
Oh, okay. Joy and Rita?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rita, yeah.
So let's see. Joy, I'm going to send you to room number 4. And Rita, let's have you go to room number 1. There you go.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye-bye. Let's see. Vivian, I wonder, so the space bar is working, but nothing else is working.
I can't even unmute myself unless I push the space bar. I don't know what's going on.
Your computer might need a break.
That's what I think it's telling me.
You've been working too hard.
Oh, yeah, taking a look. Yeah, it seems like everyone's already gotten they've opened up the link for the simulation.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So one thing to try, Vivian, is to just reboot your computer, or like that's one thing you could try, and then just rejoin us. Okay. All right. Welcome back in, Young. Glad you could join us.
In my brain, I was crying.
It's good. It happened at a good time.
Yes. In my brain, I was thinking, if this is tomorrow and I am hosting the webinar, oh dear.
Yeah, this is a whole part of the joyful online experience, right? Working from Zoom.
I mean, Lillian and I, we have to figure out our device issue.
Well, I was telling you that the last meeting that we had, that my control bar wasn't popping up. I could not get it to pop up. And luckily, like on the top, there's a little zoom button, and everything can come up through there pretty much, but it doesn't look the same. So it takes me a while to orientate, to figure out what are we doing? How am I going to do this? How do I How do I do what I need to do? All right, we have 4 minutes.
Did you
Anyone?
notice right away that I was gone?
No.
I did. I noticed because it's usually the three of us. I have I have it set up where I can see 3 people or 4.
Uh-huh.
Then you were gone, and I'm like, where is she?
Yeah. They're gonna think I went MIA. You all.
Does anyone want to pop out to a breakout room? I want to go and see a breakout room.
Yeah, let's see. I want to go to one. Let me see where.
Yeah, I'll go wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you go though, it'll record them.
Yes, it
Oh,
follows me.
it follows you.
That's true. So maybe I shouldn't.
And so right now it's still recording, right? As we're waiting.
It's recording this conversation.
Are we gonna
Yes, it
edit this
is.
out?
Probably
I mean,
not.
there's nothing. There's nothing. Yeah. Okay.
We're not okay.
You can just forward to this.
We'll just ask people to fast forward through this.
Where we talk about technological woes.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so timing. We have how much more time? We have 3 minutes. Let's broadcast. I'm going to broadcast 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, and so in 3 minutes, that's going to be 3:17. Hey,
Yeah.
you're back. Is it working? Oh, you're
Yes, it is
muted.
working. Yes,
Oh,
thank
okay.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Can I send you for the short remaining time to a room?
Yes, thank you.
Do you remember which room you were in? Was it?
It was the one with Nam in it before.
Okay. Yeah,
I think.
Kenneth.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's room number 3. So I'm going to send you to room number 3. All right.
Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. It looks like group 6 is almost finished.
Great.
Yeah. Group 5, there's 4 people in there. Haven't seen anything typed in yet.
That's nice. You can see the bubbles on there. You can see how many people are on the slides.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
neat.
nice. Yeah.
So that helps as a teacher. At
Yeah.
least you're on the same page.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like their little heads.
They pop up.
Here.
And then that's going to leave us about 10 minutes for the resources online lab.
That's great.
Hopefully then they'll have time to start looking through and maybe selecting something.
Maybe you could have shown the video.
No. Well, no.
I mean, we could have.
We
But
could have. It would have stretched it.
didn't need to.
No. Okay. So that is 1 minute. I'm going to close the room. I'm going to send out the message to close the room. All right, 60 seconds. Hi, you're back. Oh, you're back already. All right. All right, folks are trickling back. We've got 35 seconds left in the breakout rooms.
Okay, they're all coming in.
All right. All right, welcome back, everyone. All right, so thank you for your engagement with that. We see that several folks were able to put evidence onto their boards there, onto their slides, and they were able to make some selections as to what they thought, yes or no. So we're going to ask you then, thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you think? Yes or no? Like overall, did this natural selection, could you imagine this natural selection PhET activity to be something that could provide a rich opportunity for students to engage in argumentation? Yes or no? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Yes, put yes, or put no. For overall, what's your overall response?
Okay, I see 2 thumbs up reactions.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of yeses and some thumbs up. Good. So what are some things that you see that are important here? What stands out from this sim, especially maybe in comparison to the other one, or just by itself? What are some things that you notice about this simulation that would really work well to facilitate or to help facilitate argumentation with your students? Lots of variables, opportunities for data, choices, yes. More to explore, good.
There were comments earlier also about the guiding question.
Yes, you need a guiding question. Yes, it hinges on the guiding question. You've got to frame a good question for the kids. It's not going to get them going without a good guiding question. Multiple trials and conditions to choose from and to ask. Good, fantastic. So things to think about. Those are things to think about as you're putting these together. So for these PhET in particular, I just want to go back to these PhET in particular. There are lesson plans that are set up, and we're not talking about lesson plans. We're not talking about using their lesson plans in particular, but these are places that some teachers have put some good thought into how to prepare for, how to get students to get involved with these. And they've got really good jump off places. Trish Schloblian is one of the premier authors for all the PhET materials. She's not the only person, but if they've got a star, they've been vetted by PhET. So check these out. These are great places to look for jump off spots for these. In addition to that, I'm going to go back to the presentation here. So in addition to that, what we're going to show you now is we're going to show you that argument-driven inquiry, it's actually, it's a small business there that they produce their own materials. I'm going to share with you some of their own materials. What we're doing is we're taking stuff that they've developed to do in person, and we're trying to rethink how can we do these in-person argumentation series, these 8 stages, how can we do these online? They've helped us to do that thinking by providing us with a document that looks like this. It's linked right in here. This ADI online lab options. If you click on this link, what it's going to provide you with is it's going to provide you with a long PDF. And Lillian just put it into the chat. Thank you, Lillian. And when you look through the document, you're going to see that the document has headers on it. Let me just open it up and I'll show you. And it's color coded. So here, let's jump into it. And they've got several argument-driven inquiry books. And starting from 3rd grade, jumping up in, here's Earth and Space Science. So So if you're a secondary science teacher, congratulations, that means you're also an earth science teacher. So this is for everyone. So all of us teach earth science now. So you can look through here and find which ones might apply to your course. The ones in green are the ones that are most likely to be able to be done online. The ones in red, probably not going to work. The ones in yellow may take some work to make happen. But so look at the green ones first, right? So you can look through the earth and space science ones. Life science is for middle school. Then there's a physical science that's for middle school. I skipped past that one, I'm sorry. Biology, this is high school, and so forth. All right, coming back to this document. In addition to that, you've got here at this link, this link is just for preview. I have to make sure that this is very clear. This link is just for your preview. If you would like to purchase argument-driven inquiry books, then please do so, hopefully through nsta.org. I've set this up so that you can preview the PDFs and purchase your own so that they can make a little bit of money from all of the work that you're going to do with their materials. But here are the PDFs that you can preview. These are all the ones for middle school and all the ones for high school. For earth science is a 6 through 12 book, just so that you know that. Okay. So in the time that we have remaining, which is a very short amount of time, I wanted you to see that you may not know which book goes with which. Why is my slide not changing? I wanted you to know which book, well, if you're going to do an earth science one, how do you know which grade it goes with? So here, this table helps you to figure that out. So if you're a 6th grade teacher, then these are the ADI labs that are going to go with your grade, and here are the PEs that go along with them. 7th grade, 8th grade, biochem physics. You can see which one of the earth science ones are going to go along with yours. Otherwise, it may be easier to figure out, but I thought we could do the earth science one for you to help you figure that one out. In the time that we have remaining today, what we would ask you to do is to spend this time to look at all of these resources and to think about your homework for next time. Once again, this is day 1 of 4, and your homework is going to be this. Select a rich argumentation task. We would suggest that you look first at that document that we just showed you that's color-coded red, green, and blue. Choose a green one. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. And look at the ADI books. So you 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you can should provide you with everything that you need. The homework, once again, is select a rich argumentation task. So basically, what we're asking you here is come back to this document and select one of these to do. Are you going to do Earth Space Science Lab number 6, Earth and Space Lab number 7, or from another one of your grade level? If you teach whichever grade level you teach, select which lab you're going to do. It doesn't have to be Earth and Space Science. It can be any one that you like. If you don't find something that you like from ADI Online Labs, then you have another option. Another option is to use your new textbooks digital materials. So for example, if you have HMH, have you seen the U-Solvents? Some of them are good. I'm not going to say all of them are good, but some of them are really good. Some of them might provide that rich argumentation opportunity, and it's built into your book. If you're an Amplify Science school, then look at the sims that they have and see if those might work. And check out all check out each of your digital textbooks. A lot of them have simulations or links to sims. Actually, I think Discovery often links over to PhET, just like we were doing. So PhET is one of my favorite places to find online labs. But in addition to PhET, for high school, there's Labster. If you haven't, this is just for high school. If you're middle school, sorry, this doesn't apply. But Labster might have some opportunities for you. Here's the Labster how-to. There was PD number 1 that happened last week. PD number 2 is happening today. I'll put the link for the video if you don't catch it. I'll put the link here. Also, we've got 2 other links with just tons of online labs. So we encourage you, look over these options. And once again, your homework is to come back next week right here with your selection of argumentation tasks. All right. So on behalf of Lillian and Inyan and myself, we want to say thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Once again, this is day number 1 of 4. We're gonna hope that we're gonna expect that you come back next time for day number 2 with your homework completed, ready to go, with your selection of your rich argumentation task. We've put in the link for the survey for today. If you could take this survey for us to help us improve for next time, we appreciate it. Next time, once again, we're going to go through stages 1 through 4 of ADI. And then the time after that, we're going to go through and deep dive into stages 5 through 8.
So our next meeting will be Wednesday, November 4th.
Wednesday, November 4th. Thank you. And we'll put a better link in the chat box for you. Give me a second here. Oh, you got it, Lillian?
Oh, no, actually.
I got it. All right, here we go. There's the link. And all of these sessions are going to be recorded. This one's being recorded right now. So if you're not able to catch next week's, if something happens, then just look for the link. Where you found the link for today's session, there's going to be the link for next time, and the recording's going to be there. So thank you all for coming. We're going to roll into our next session and begin it real soon. So thanks for coming, everyone, and we appreciate it.
Oh, so the next section. Okay.
Yeah, we're ending one session and we're going to start another. I'm going to press stop recording here.
Okay, Chris, quick question. How do we can we look at the recorded session if we want?